I feel I should open and say I'm not sure I've got all the answers either to lots of unknown pots of money for working internationally. And I'm sure many of you are waiting to ask questions to the panel or are hungry for your lunch. So I'm going to whiz through this in 10 minutes to highlight the resources that we've been collecting to make the ICOM UK website a one-stop shop for working internationally. So I'm sure there are already many of you thinking, where can I find resources to help me work internationally? And where can I find funding for my international project? Well, like many aspects of our work, there isn't any simple solution, and often it's a case of piecing together funding from different sources and thinking creatively about partnerships. So what I can do is signpost you to information so that you can investigate the options that are available for your particular projects and that are right for your organisation. I'm also going to highlight some of the case studies we've got online that can maybe provide some inspiration and maybe help you with working up kind of examples for business cases and proposals for your international work. So to tell you a little bit about the regional project, for those of you who don't know, it's supported by Arts Council England, and it's led by ICOM UK in partnership with the National Museum Directors Council, the British Council and Heritage Without Borders. And when we talk about working internationally, it's really drawing on many of the things that you'll hear today. It's not only about international touring exhibitions, but peer exchanges, learning and development, training, and all sorts of other ways of working together. So the presentation will distill some of the research that I've been doing into what work has been taking place and how, and talking about some of the programs that we've developed in response to the needs of the sector. So, of course, I would like to say to show you the website live and everything, but I don't trust technology in unknown places, so I'm afraid it will be a little bit of a static tour to make sure it all works. But I hope you'll take the chance after the conference to really delve in and have a look at all of the information available. So I know many of you here today actually have very kindly and generously contributed case studies to the website. We've made these available, as I said, to really highlight the variety of work taking place. And for each example, we've got the institution listed and also the author of the case study. So if you want to find out further information, we've tried to make that as easy as possible. And at the moment, there's about 10 case studies on the website, and we'll be continuing to add more throughout this year. Some of the highlights at the moment include working with Japan on international exhibitions from the Oriental Museum in Durham. We've got an example from Norfolk Museum Services, a European Interreg-funded project on Norman connections. Tully House's object handling workshops with museums in China. And an international education project, which was a partnership between National Museums Liverpool, working with an international charity and schools in Haiti, Brazil, Senegal, and Sierra Leone. As I said, we're hoping to add more, so I always like to invite anyone to submit case studies if you've got particular projects that you'd like to highlight or any learning that you'd like to share with your colleagues in the sector. So in terms of guidance articles, these are a bit different from the case studies in that they focus on a particular aspect of working internationally, or maybe top tips for working with certain countries or regions around the world. At the moment, we've got 15 guidance articles, and these are covering everything from a template partnership agreement, managing risk, developing international partnerships, and top tips on working with China, Russia, and India. And again, another call out. If you've got anything you would like to contribute, please do get in touch. Useful contacts is a section I'd really advise kind of diving into and seeing what's available. We've tried to collate it's a list of organisations, websites, contacts, etc., that can be useful for working internationally. There is a wealth of information out there, and it's in all different places, and I know how time-consuming it can be to try and find a particular embassy contact or a particular organisation that supports work in one country. So what we've done is we've organised everything by countries, or regions of the world. So we've got Europe, the Middle East, Americas, Asia, Africa, and Oceania. And then there are 2 additional sections for UK government resources, so that's things like UKTI and the FCO, and organisations that are not geographically specific, but that support museums and heritage organisations more broadly with international work. So, for example, under UK government resources, you can find a link to the London Diplomatic List, and that contains the addresses and contact details for all the foreign embassies and high commissions in the UK. So you really can just find everything you need in one place. And under European resources, we've got a list of the European Cultural Institutes and links to their websites, and a number of other pan-European organisations supporting museums and heritage work. I know everyone always wants to know about funding. So this page does start, you can't see the top of it, but it does start with a list of travel grant recipients. One of the main changes to the regional project this year was that we were able to offer a number of international travel grants to support international work. But if you scroll down past those projects, we've got this list of those red ones by the star rule links. So you'll go through to some general fundraising information, European funding information, what Arts Council can fund, and also trusts and foundations. There's a whole list on there of different things. We can't list all of the criteria and deadlines and things for every single programme, so I do encourage you to contact the grants managers or foundation managers for any particular programme that you're interested in for further information. And really, I wanted to say it's also worth remembering there are a number of possibilities for funding international projects, and these include pooling resources and funding with partners to deliver a project or perhaps increase its scope. That could be UK organisations working together to do something internationally, as much as partnerships that involve UK and international partners. It's always worth contacting the international embassies and cultural organisations in the UK to see if they can support your work, either in kind, or perhaps they have accommodation available, or they might be looking for a good news story relating to their country, you might be able to provide some promotional assistance. Always worth inviting them to your private views for any events as well. It's worth checking the details for some national schemes that might allow some international work. So one in particular is the Art Fund's Jonathan Ruffer curatorial grants, which you can undertake international travel and research as part of. And I think some of the best examples we've seen where working internationally has been possible and sustainable is where it's integrated into an organisation's work. It's not an optional add-on that requires lots of additional resources and funding, but trying to really integrate it. And also, if you have development staff within your organisation, talking to them about your international ambitions, and perhaps there are particular elements of projects that would be particularly attractive to certain types of funders or supporters. Working internationally can provide some really unique and attractive offers. I know quite a few of you have attended workshops that I've organised, so thank you for both your contributions as speakers and as attendees. And we appreciate that everyone doesn't have the budget and time to travel to these events, so we've tried to make as much information as possible available afterwards by making the presentations available as PDFs on the website. You can also download the speaker biographies and abstracts. We've got a little plug for our next workshop taking place in London in early October, which will be on developing international partnerships. So I'm sure that will be a popular one, so keep an eye out on the website for further details to sign up. Something else I hope will be really useful is, again, sticking to the one-stop shop idea that we're creating a calendar of international events and conferences. So you'll be able to go in and see a variety of opportunities for attending international events where you can develop contacts and networks. Where there's a call out for papers, we're also including those in the ICOM UK news. And for some, it's worth checking the details, because for some conferences, if your paper's accepted, they may well cover your travel and expenses, or at least contribute. I also want to flag up that ICOM UK members can apply for international travel bursaries to attend international conferences and events, and those are not only ICOM meetings. So there's details of that scheme, and the application form can be found on the Join Us and bursary pages of the website. So, for example, this year, ICOM UK is supporting a UK museum professional to attend the Alliance of American Museums conference in Washington in May. How can you get involved? I've listed some of the ways there. We're always keen to hear from you, as I've mentioned several times already, for sharing information about your projects and experiences and really sharing with others. So if you haven't signed up already, we have a monthly Working Internationally Regional Project newsletter, and that includes updates on opportunities working internationally, events coming up, funding opportunities, call out for partners, and again, if you would like to include something in that, if you're looking for international or UK partners, we can certainly do that. And for ICOM UK members, there's a weekly news bulletin that goes out that draws together information that's been published each week, or you can just go and have a look every week and see what's been posted. Again, lots of opportunities and articles around working internationally, opportunities for funding and other information. So I haven't got the 30 seconds card waving at me. I'm around the rest of the day if you've got any questions or would like to talk about making a contribution. Thank you.